Love. I'm the library director at the ACC Library. So in this video, I want to talk to you about some of the things you're going to need to know in order to complete your assignment in Rosalinda Izguerra's English 1301 course. Let me share my screen here for you. Let's pull up the assignment here. All right, so this is the textual analysis essay assignment. And with this assignment, you need to find at least four sources, two of which need to be scholarly or peer-reviewed. So what we mean by scholarly sources, peer-reviewed sources mean that the sources were reviewed by experts in the field before the articles were published. So that's a lot of times while you're here, your instructors say they want you to use those sources because they know you're getting good academic research that way. So two of those have to be scholarly, but you need four in total. And you can find those through the library's resources, library databases. And you can find non-peer-reviewed sources as well. And these are from reputable publications like magazines, news sites, news articles, reputable publications. Now with this assignment, you're to analyze the film. Now, for this assignment, your instructor does not want you to just use reviews of the film. So in this case, what she's wanting you to find are critical essays. So you might have heard the term literary criticism. Well, it's the same thing. Now, literary criticism, a lot of times, is talking about books, novels, poetry, fiction, nonfiction. But in this case, literary criticism can also apply to film as well. And so a lot of the same resources that you can use for literary criticism, you can use for film analysis. And so, we're talking about film analysis. We're talking about, essays that talk about that kind of an in-depth analysis of the film, the way in which the film was made, the different themes that are presented throughout, the meanings behind them. More than just a review, like I said, more than just a review where you have one person's opinion of saying why they liked it or didn't like it, if they enjoyed it or not. So we're looking for more in-depth analysis here with these films. Okay, so let's go now to the library's pod page. So if you don't already know, you go under Campus Services here in the pod, and you go down to Library. And here, now the reason why I recommend you going through the pod in order to access a lot of our resources is that you can see here where it talks about login information. So most of you are probably going to be accessing these databases off campus. So you're going to need to use a login that we have for you as a student to use. A lot of our databases are through TextShare, so I'll show you one of those. So you'll need this login here. And then we also have the EBSCO databases, which I'll show you as well. And so you'll need that that login there. So the login information is right there for you at the top of the screen. All right, so let's scroll down. Let's go to the subject guides. So when we have an assignment like this where you have to find multiple resources, you need to find scholarly resources, the subject guides are really helpful with that because you've got all of the resources there organized in one place for that particular subject. So here we know we need English resources, we need to find literary criticism for these films. And then what we can do here is go to the subject guide and find the library databases on that subject. So this is a little easier way to find, because we have lots of databases that we have access to, but this is a way in order to sort of pinpoint the ones that are going to be the most helpful for you, and will more easily help you find the sources that you need for your assignment. All right, so let's go to the Databases tab here. Let's scroll down. So, probably one of the best databases for finding literary criticism is the Literature Resource Center here. All right, so this is a Gale database. I mentioned that's a text share database, so that's the login you would use for that. Okay, so here, now when you're searching for a film, first of all, you want to make sure whatever film you choose that it is a film. A lot of the films on the list that she provided are going to have lots of sources because many of them are films that won awards, that there was a lot of attention paid to them. They're considered significant films. Not all films are going to be that way. I mean, there's lots of movies released every year. So there's going to be some films that are not going to be talked about, analyzed that much by critics and people that cover the film industry. So you want to focus on films that are considered significant. Oscar winners and things like that would be a good rule of thumb here. And you may want to do some trial and error, some searching here to see what you can find. You might try a few different films before you settle on one that looks like it's going to have some good sources for you to use. Okay, so here, one of the films on the list was Schindler's List. Now, this is a good example here to show you because that was a film that won an Oscar. There was got a lot of attention. There's been a lot written about it over the years. All right, so what you're going to want to choose now, one thing I want to point out here to you is that um, when you have a film like this, and a lot of these films will be based on books, so you want to make sure you're searching for criticism of the film, not the book. So in this case, we're going to choose motion picture for Schindler's List, not the novel here. So you want to make sure you choose the one that says film or motion picture. All right, and then we're going to check the box next to peer-reviewed journals. So peer-reviewed journals, we're going to go ahead and find our academic or scholarly sources here. All right, so you can see there's 25 different essays there, critical essays that at least mention the film or that discuss it to a certain extent. And there's some different things here. Here's one you can look at. This talks about, and you can see here the blurb usually gives you like a little bit of an idea of what it's about. This paper explores how melodrama acts as a specific mode of historical representation. So again, it's talking about how the themes are presented. So we'll go in here, just click on the title. That'll take you to the full text of the article. And then from here, you've got some different options. Always remember, or I always recommend that when you find a source, you save that source in some way. So, get a question a lot of times we get from students is, I found this really good source. I did some more searching, can't figure out how to get back to it. This way, if you go ahead and save it in some way, when you find a good source, then you've got it there, you know where it's at. So in this case, we can either just download it to your hard drive, you can email it to yourself, you can if you have a Microsoft OneDrive account, you can send it there. You can send it to your Google Drive if you have a Google account. There's lots of different options here. Also, you can see the little citation, citation link there. Let's click on that. And MLA 9th edition, so it's got the latest MLA citation. So you can just select that there, and then you can just copy and paste that into your works cited page. So this is a nice feature that a lot of our databases have. It's something I try to point out to students, to let them know that it's there, so that they know that they've got already a built-in citation that can help them right here. They don't need to spend a lot of time going out and trying to figure it out how to cite things online or go find the style manual. The database kind of does the work for you here. All right, so let's go back to the results page. And we'll go back to the search. All right, let's go ahead and take this box off because there may be some sources here, some critical essays that appeared in non-peer-reviewed publications. So no, they weren't peer-reviewed. They were, they weren't reviewed before they were published, but they are, from reputable magazines or, literary magazines or news magazines and so forth. So let's click here. So you can see we've now got some more hits on that. So it went up from 25 to 41. Let's see if we can find a lot of these are going to be, very similar. Okay, here's one. Close Encounters of the Nazi Kind. So this is from the New Republic, which is kind of a news, current events magazine. But it's a very reputable publication. And this is, it's, it does say movie review, but it's also a critical essay. So that's the thing that you want to look for, is it's more than just a review. It's also talking about, there's more in-depth analysis of the film here. Okay. So I think hopefully you'll be able to find what you need here within Gale Literature Resource Center. If you can't find what you need here, you can look into EBSCO databases. They're a great source for lots of subjects, including a lot of topics that you'll have in your English courses. So let's go back to the subject guide, back to the databases tab. Okay, we'll scroll down and find EBSCO. All right, we'll put in our topic here. Now, again, it gives you the suggestions here. You want to make sure you choose the film. So here it's the 1993 film by Steven Spielberg. Okay. All right, so let's click the peer-reviewed box. And, that was the article we were looking at there. So there's going to be some overlap here, but you're going to get some different articles. Here's one here we can look at. A lesson in moral spectatorship. So this again, you can see all the different, themes they're looking at here. So you just click on the Access Now linked in order to get to the full text of the article. And then from here, again, you have the same options as far as you can download it here. Now, the feature that EBSCO has is you can set up a My EBSCO account. I would highly recommend that just because not only in this course, but in a lot of your courses, any course that requires research, you're probably going to be using EBSCO. So it's good to go ahead and set up an account here. This can be, any username or password that you want, but it's an account that you can use to keep track and save sources when you find them. Okay. And then remember, as I said, you have the peer-reviewed box up here. So you can also take that off because you can find a couple sources that are not peer-reviewed. So here's one here, Spielberg's Obsession. So this is from Newsweek. So this is from a news magazine. But again, this is a reputable source. And again, here's more than just a movie review. He talks about, why he wanted to make the movie. Talks about how, Spielberg's, motivations behind making it and so forth. And then you just go into, again, the Access Now in order to get to the full text of the article. Okay. So hopefully, between these two databases here, you can find the sources that you need. Now, if you, of course, definitely let us know if you're struggling to find sources. Let's go back to the subject guide here. Now, we do have some more information about citing your sources. Of course, you need to cite your sources within the body of your paper. So here we've got some information about how to cite your sources, how to use in-text citations with the MLA. And then some more information about how your works cited page should look. There's some information down here too, including a couple of helpful videos here. If you're not familiar with, you haven't done much with research papers in the past, I would suggest watching these little videos. They'll give you a good little overview here, in-text citations, and then also how your works cited page should look. Okay. And then if you have questions as you go along, as I said, just let us know if you have questions. You can contact me directly from this subject guide here. You can send me an email. My phone number is there if you prefer to call. Um, if you've chosen a film and you're just not finding sources in the databases that we have, the databases I showed you there, you can make an appointment with me, come in, meet with me. I'll sit down with you and we'll do some searching and we'll find some sources for your assignment. So that's about all. I think that hopefully, just keep in mind the subject guides here, have the data, have the resources that you need. If you have questions, just let me know. So thank you for watching and good luck on your assignment.